I'm a designer, so I'm involved in the very beginning stage of the whole process.
I am working on projects to get them going from the initial idea with the client to bringing about the implementation.
I like to think of myself as the paintbrush. After brainstorming everything and conceptualizing the idea, it's my job to make it visible and create the mock-ups in Illustrator, which we then pass off to the engineers, and then they make it work.
Coming up with the initial design, we're working with the clients. We're listening to what the client's needs are, what their objectives, what their goals are with the software.
Design is more than just how something looks. Design affects what actually ends up in the hands of the end user.
So we're figuring out who the user is and what their kind of daily life looks like and why they need the software.
If the end user is confused about how the software works, they can't find what they're looking for, they can't figure out how to do what they need to do, the software is a failure.
You need to come up with one idea, you need to run that past a user and find out, nope, that doesn't work. Then you run another idea, try that, nope, that doesn't work, until you keep iterating. So design's a pretty iterative process.
We're constantly working to improve our software, enhance it with new features, make the features that exist better.
Once we are pretty sure that the wireframing and things are going in the right direction, then we put it's called a high fidelity design. We create a high fidelity design for it.
Most of the time I'm using Illustrator though, because I usually am creating high fidelity mockups, which means it looks exactly like the software.
So we'll take the high fidelity design and a specification, we'll send that to the engineering team, and then one or more of the engineers will look at that and they'll be able to implement from there.
I get to work with client services and engineers.
When you meet with a client, you're listening to what their needs are, and that builds confidence for them. It also then tells us all the information that we need to know in order to do our jobs well.
Client services tells us what the clients want, and then engineering says what's actually possible. And design, we have to figure out kind of the best compromise to make it all work so everybody's happy.
Every project has its own set of design issues that are especially challenging.
To see something from the very beginning stages all the way through to being in the user hands and actually functioning and people are happy with it, that's a really cool process.